Welcome. This is a orientation video for biological evolution for spring of 2022. Originally, there was going to be both an online course and a traditional in-person course because of the surge in the Delta or Omicron variant. Um, they've asked us to do digital online at least for the first couple of weeks. So we can reevaluate for those of you who are signed up to the traditional. I don't like the online courses as much as a traditional course. I know they work well for some people. They are super convenient. That's the advantage. But you have to make sure that you keep up and you have to stay motivated. So the object of this video is to help show you all of the material that you have available for the course, how to do well, reminders about things, and just generally everything that you need to succeed. If you have any questions, or if at any time you want to review material, I have regular Zoom office hours. Those office hours are Monday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. I try to make them a little bit of a different times because I know people have different schedules. And those are also listed in the syllabus. So let's start. Along the left-hand side here, you have a list of items that are available for you. And this will be the same for both the online and the one that was originally scheduled to be traditional. So, but should be identical. So let's start with the syllabus and the calendar. The syllabus is a Word document. Let's open it up and we'll review it very quickly. You have it here so that you can use it whenever you need it. You can refer to it and go back to it as needed. So the course is online but asynchronous. What that means is that there is no set meeting time and not a live class, but the Zoom office hours do compensate for that. The advantage of the online asynchronous format is that you can engage with the material whenever is best for you. If you're working in the evenings or working in the day, you can, schedule your time to engage uh, as is appropriate for you. But the important part is that you need to do this on at least twice a week, maybe even on a daily basis during the weekday. And you can spread out the work as needed. Now, that does not mean that there are not deadlines. You still have deadlines that you need to meet, but you can complete the material at the times of day that is most convenient to you prior to that deadline. We do have a textbook. The textbook is here. There are reading assignments for just about every unit out of the textbook. I always have questions asked like, hey, do I really need the textbook? How important is the textbook? That's a hard question for me to answer as an instructor. My best advice to you is go ahead and get the textbook. It will be very, very useful. There are reading assignments. Now, with that said, um, I review everything that we need to for quizzes, for exams. Everything is covered in the lecture material. It's online lecture material. Again, I don't think that's ideal for learning for most students. Some students do fine. I try to break them up into shorter units, kind of bite-sized pieces, I guess you could say, so you don't have to sit down and do an entire 50-minute lecture at one time. Um, and hopefully they're somewhat engaging, even though they are in an online format. But the textbook will really be a support, a help to you. You can read it, skim over the material, even if you don't read it in detail prior to reading or to watching the videos. And then if you have questions, if you're not certain about something, you can go back to the text and read some more, read up on it. There are lots of additional examples and kind of additional enrichment material in the textbook you'll find there. So it is a good resource. I recommend having it. It is not absolutely necessary, so make your decision based on that information. My office is here. I'm often on campus, especially to do research, but sometimes it's really hard to find exactly where I am. So your best way to get a hold of me, telephone, you can leave a message, but again, that's not great. The best way to get a hold of me is through that email. I'll be checking emails all through the weekday and usually once or twice even on the weekend to make sure that I'm keeping up with those through the semester. So send me an email if you have any questions, or even better, log on to a Zoom office hour. those office hours don't work for you, please try and make them fit your schedule. But if they don't, I understand. Send me an email and we can make an appointment to meet at an alternative time. But those times are available. I'm there to answer questions, to talk over material, anything related to the course. You have an hour Monday, Wednesdays, and Tuesday, Thursdays when you can go over that. Okay. Evolution is a kind of a interesting course because I almost feel like it's an introductory course, but it's an introduction of a lot of advanced material. So we cover a broad array of topics, everything from phylogeny to genetics, coevolution, everything in between. So we do a lot of topics, not in a lot of detail. Many of the chapters, many of the units that we have in this course can be, and even are in some cases on this campus, could be expanded to an entire course. But we'll hit the highlights, we'll hit the important parts of each of those. Okay. Some of it that you may already have some background, you might even know a lot of the material from previous courses because it is fairly general. Now, the way that this course will be evaluated, there are 4 units, if you will. Sorry, not units. There are 4 components that you will be evaluated on. Exams and quizzes, although they are somewhat standard and traditional, because of the online format, it's a little bit different. So there are 4 midterm exams. We'll look at the calendar here in a little bit, and there is a final exam. All of those are required. None of them will be dropped. Okay, so you need to make sure that you take each of them. And again, because of the online format, it's really easy and convenient. You have an entire day for each of the midterms. You have 2 days for the final. You can pick whichever day you'd like to take it on, but you must take it on those days. If there is an emergency, please, please, please contact me. We live in an age where unless you are in a coma, you should be able to contact me the day of an emergency. I know it's depending on the scale of the emergency. Sometimes you have important other things, but as soon as you possibly can, contact me. We can often make accommodations if you contact me in time. However, if like 3 days after you say, oh, I was diagnosed with COVID 3 days ago, and I'd like to take the test that we had, 3 days ago, that's really not an option. If you contact me the day of, say, oh, I'm feeling sick, or I had this happen, can we make it an exception? I can often do that. It's not guaranteed, but you have a chance at least. If you're contacting me 3, 4, or more days afterwards, it's not going to fly. You're just not going to be able to make up material. Okay, so please, please keep track of that. You can keep track of it through the calendar, which we'll look at. We'll also look at this daily links folder, which is another great tool to really help make sure you don't miss any material. Okay, so midterm exams are administered through Blackboard. There's a 90-minute time limit for that, and there will not be any backtracking. So each question will be administered individually, and you won't be able to go back once you've answered a question. Now, let me explain why that is. Because of the online format, you have open resources. So, it's very hard to monitor and to police online exams. There are tools. Some of you probably use some of those. I hate them. Like the lockout browsers where you have to close everything else, and sometimes you have a camera, and if you move your eyes away, or it's kind of draconian, and I don't think very reasonable. So it's a little bit of a I don't know what the word is, accommodations. It's a compromise, I guess, is the best way to say it. So you do have open exams, meaning that you can use your notes, you can use the website, the book, whatever resources you think are going to help you. But you won't be able to backtrack, go back over. So that's kind of the downside of it. There are going to be 50 multiple choice, true, false, and matching questions on each of those. Again, 90 minutes. So although you do have open resources, you're not going to be able to look up and learn and teach yourself all of that material through that exam. So please come prepared to those as if they were a regular exam, but with the option that you can refer to resources as you need to. Also, because of the online format and to make it a little bit more fair for everyone, to make sure we're testing evenly, there are pools of questions. So every student gets very, very similar questions, but not identical questions. So your test will not be the same as your friends or your neighbor or whoever, anyone else taking the course. There are pools then, and questions are drawn randomly from those for all students. Okay. The final exam will be the exact same format, but a little bit longer, about 80 questions, and with additional time as needed for that final exam. It will be on May 9th. May 10th will be administered the same way. All of the exams you'll access through this exams folder. Now, right now it's empty because there won't be anything there until that first exam, which is coming up in about 4 weeks. We'll look at the calendar again here in a little bit. So that's how you access exams. Quizzes and worksheets are also here, and these will come up as those things are available. Okay, so exams kind of standard the way regular courses usually work, but in an online format. Okay. There will be, and I need to change this. I just realized that, so I'm going to actually change it and I'll repost it. There's only one quiz each week. This was for the summer. So that quiz will be administered each Wednesday. If there's an exam on that Wednesday, then there won't be a quiz that week. And they're all listed on the calendar. There are also reminders for you in the daily links folder. Okay, so the quizzes are also online. They're short, 5 questions, same format, open. You can use your notes. You can use whatever you want to answer those questions in the quizzes. You must take them each week. They'll be available Wednesday morning of each week. And then they will disappear Friday at midnight. And you can take them anytime. So if it's convenient and it's fresh in your memory, do it on Wednesday. If not, you can do it Thursday. Now, if you have to delay all the way till Friday, that's fine. Just be aware if you're trying to take it Friday at midnight and there's a technical glitch and you email me and say, hey, I have this problem, we may not be able to fix it before the deadline. So again, that's usually rare. Most people do fine and are doing very well, have a good stable internet connection, whatever. You can take it Friday night and you'll most likely be fine. But just be aware that's the risk you're running, and they must be completed by the deadline. Okay. This very first quiz, which will be on Wednesday the 20th, available till Friday the 22nd. You can take as many times as you want, and we'll just take your highest score. That's just to get you familiar with the format. It's also kind of a good prep because the exams are in that same basic format. At that point, after quiz 1, it will just be a single time. And you have ample time. It's 30 minutes for each quiz and only 5 questions, so it's a really, ample time for that quiz. At the end of the semester, I will drop your lowest quiz score. So if you just completely miss one, it won't impact your grade. But if you take them all, then you may have a little bit of a benefit because the lowest one, you get a 4 out of 10 on one of them. That will be dropped, and all the other ones will just be used to calculate your quiz average. No dropped exams, but there will be one dropped quiz. Okay, so that's 2 of the components of the course, exams and quizzes. The second component is worksheets. Worksheets are in Word format. I don't have one yet, but one will be up within the next couple of days. You can start working on it, but you don't have the knowledge base necessary to complete it until we get through most of the material for Unit 1. So it's a Word document. You'll download that Word document and then just fill it out. Answer questions. There are open-ended. There's some calculations on some of them, some illustrations of different principles that we'll talk about throughout the course. And you'll just fill it in, type it in, save your format, and then you upload it to the assignment on Blackboard. And I'll demonstrate that once the first worksheet is posted. So that gives you lots of time to work on them, lots of help. You can get help from anywhere you want. If you are stuck on anything, or if you're just uncertain, say, oh, I'm not sure about this answer, use those Zoom office hours. I'm happy to help you answer the questions. So you really should be able to get nearly 100% on all of the worksheets if you put in the time, and if you're uncertain, you come and talk to me about it, answer questions. There's stuff online. I realize that's the world we live in, sometimes even looking at them, but please be careful because I update my quizzes. I add different numbers or slightly different takes on each of the problems. So if you're using an older version and using that as an example, that's fine to help you understand and complete the material. But if you're just uploading it, you'll probably get a very low score if it's an older version. So just please be aware of that and act accordingly. Worksheets are due on the date. They're listed on the calendar. If you turn it in late, you can turn in worksheets late, up to 4 days late. If it's 1 day late, it'll be automatically 25% off. If it's 2 days late, 50%, 3 days, 75%. So I guess you have 3 days to turn it in, because after 4 days, it'll be, it's just too late and you can't get credit for it. In addition, I also post a guide video for each worksheet. The guide videos are kind of like the course lecture videos, but they take you through it pretty much step by step with examples, at least. Maybe not the exact same problem, but examples of each of the problems to help you complete them and really kind of walk you through the process. Hopefully, as you engage with the material, as you watch the videos, do the readings, you'll understand and be able to do the worksheets, maybe even without the guide videos. But the guide videos are one additional step. All right, so that's the third component. The fourth final component of the course upon which you will be assessed are reading questions. Now, we have reading assignments from the textbook. However, I don't assess you on those readings. Those are just to help you with the material, help you understand it better. There are, in addition to textbook readings, not quite every day, but, well, every day for the first unit, you'll have an additional, usually very, very short, sometimes a little longer, but a reading assignment. And for those, there is an assessment. Now, these are essentially participation points. In an online class, it's a little weird, especially since it's asynchronous. So you have to complete them by the date they are listed on the calendar. There will be 2 short open-ended questions. You just type in your answer. They can be very, very short, a couple sentences at most. And just engage, think about it, answer, tell me what you think. You will get full credit as long as you're giving it an honest attempt. So I will give you full credit for each of the reading question assignments that you complete. Okay, so that's an easy 10% of the course that you'll just get just for doing it. So essentially like participation points. And I'll show you how to do those here in a little bit. So basically they are completion grade, a permission point. You need to do them on time. You can do them a little bit ahead of time. I don't recommend getting too much ahead of time because they help you engage with the material and learn the material as you go. So those are the 4 components of the course. At the end of the semester, you will be graded according to the scale. So 60% of your grade will come from exams, 15% from those quizzes, 15% from worksheets, 10% from reading questions. So a good chunk of the course, 10% and 15%, if you're engaging, if you're doing it and keeping up with the material, you basically get 100% for all those sections. So to calculate your grade at the end of the semester, all I do is imagine you had 60 points out of 100 available for the exams. And so if you got 90% average on all your exams, you would get 90% of those 60 points, right? So that would be what, like a 54. You get 54 out of 60. And then so forth for all of these. Then I just add them all up and calculate your percentage. You must get at least a 90% if you want an A, 80% for a B, and so on. I don't round up. Okay, so at the end of the semester, if you have an 89.9, that's not an A. Okay, and I will very gently, I've got a very standard thing that I post in that's saying, you know, I have to evaluate all the students fairly no matter where I draw the lines. Some students are going to fall just a little bit short of the next grade up. That's just the way it is. Sometimes you barely squeak by and you get the next grade up. Other times you barely miss it. And over the course of your career as a student, it kind of evens out. So it should be about even. But you must achieve at least a 90% in my course to get an A. Okay, no matter where you fall at the end. And there's no extra credit. Your grade is an estimation of your performance and your responsibility, right? Keeping up, making sure you get everything turned in throughout the entire semester. It's not a, oh, can I scramble at the end and do a little bit extra to try and bump that grade up. That's not how it works. Okay, so please be aware and plan accordingly. Now again, there's a little note here because this is online. It's critical that you have a good internet connection. Hopefully you've got one at home. Most students do. But if not, you have campus resources, right? So there are lots. And you have lots of time to complete each element. If there are any emergencies, please contact me. Technical emergencies, do it as soon as you can. Send me an email. Sometimes, often in case, we can make accommodations. But please try to limit those or even make it so that they're not necessary. Make sure you're keeping up. You can view them at any time, but please, please don't fall into the trap of, oh, I'm going to put it off, I'm going to put it off, and then I'll cram everything in at the end of the unit, right before the exam. That's not a good, effective way to learn. The course is set up that even though it's online asynchronous, we're going to be kind of working off of as if it was a Monday, Wednesday class. So each Monday and Wednesday of the week, you will have material that is due, reading assignments, some of those questions, quizzes. So it's as if it was meeting on Monday and Wednesday, even though it's online asynchronous. And we'll look at that here, and that's very visible during the calendar, and you'd see it also in the daily links. And also each week I'll be available on Zoom, so please, please use that. If you have need of assistance, you may already know about this, but please let me know as soon as possible, and we can look at that and make accommodations, which may be a little different because of the online format. This may not apply to you. You may think, oh, I don't need that, but you never know what's going to happen. So please, if something, knock on wood, God forbid, but if anything happens to you where you do need that, you have a car accident or a major disease diagnosis, please contact me. We can work together and through the Office of Accessibility to make accommodations to help you be successful in many cases. So please use that if need be. Okay, so let's look at where this material is. Well, first let's look at the calendar. I will save that and re-upload the new version. Okay, so in addition here to the syllabus, you also have a link to the calendar. This calendar is, all these dates will be the same unless there's some major change in the university. We don't usually have hurricanes during spring semester, luckily, but sometimes something happens, you never know. But otherwise, this will be the dates, and everything you need to know is kind of here in a very short form. You can refer to it and plan ahead. So for this first week, by Wednesday, January 9th, there's course introduction, what is evolution, big three, your reading assignment. If it just says CH, that's chapter. So CH1 is chapter 1 from your textbook. If it says P, that's paper number 1. Now those paper number 1s are the additional reading assignments for which you have to answer some reading questions. And those can be found here in the readings folder. So here, and there are also links to them in the daily links. I'll look at those. But all of those papers, reading assignments, are here in the papers folder. And so book assignments, paper reading assignments. And then there's a reminder, and again, every Wednesday there will be a quiz. The first one will be easy. It's just over Unit 1.1. It will appear on Wednesday, January 19th, and be available until, it'll be the 21st, I think. Sorry, I think I said the 22nd earlier. But Friday, January 21st at midnight, it will go away. So you need to make sure you take that first quiz there. Quizzes are available here in the quizzes folder. So this is like a snapshot, an overview. Many people like it, like to write it out, fill out their own calendars, plan ahead, great. If that's you, wonderful, do that. The calendar is a great snapshot overview. It's a little bit abbreviated. In addition to the calendar, you also have a very important resource right here that says daily links. Now I'm still updating dates from last semester, but I've got the first unit completely done and all the exam dates in there, which are just reminders of those exam dates. So for unit number 1, we've got a link for every single day, Monday and Wednesday. Again, it's an online course, but it just helps to, I think, to keep things organized. We'll treat it as if it was meeting on Mondays and Wednesdays. So here, on Wednesday, you have a nice list of everything that needs to be done, which corresponds to what's on the calendar for that day. You can do it ahead of time. In fact, I recommend maybe getting a little bit ahead of time. You don't want to get too far ahead, but you can get, as far ahead as you feel comfortable. But by the end of the day, you should have done all of these things. Now, some of them, like watching the videos, could do a little bit. You could wait a little bit. Like if you're not going to take the quiz till Thursday, you could wait and watch the video on, Thursday. But you need to make sure you get that reading assignment because it's due, as the calendar says, it's due on this date. So both the calendar and the daily links folder will help keep you current with all of the material of the course. Make sure you don't miss anything. Use both, use one or the other, whichever you are most comfortable with. If you use them both, you won't forget and you won't miss anything. I'll also post reminders for all of the quizzes. There'll be an announcement. For all of the tests, there will be an announcement. I don't post announcements because I think it's just too many, it gets too cluttered. I don't post announcements for the reading questions. So use the calendar or use the daily links or both to make sure you don't miss any of the reading questions. At the end of the day, so on Wednesday the 19th, this link for answer and submit reading questions for the first paper, that will disappear and will no longer be submittable. So you must complete that by the day it's listed on the calendar. Again, daily links folders help you too. So just to show you what this is, you come in, very, very short. What is a scientific theory? Is it the same as a fact? And you would say no, and then maybe write a sentence about why it's not. From question 2 in that paper, Dobzhansky claims nothing in biology makes sense except in light of evolution. Why did he say that? Just your thoughts. 1 sentence, 2 sentences, that's fine. I want you to engage your brain, do it, answer it, put whatever, if you write the lyrics to the latest Taylor Swift album or whatever, I probably won't give you credit for that, but if you just, put forth a little bit of an effort, you'll get full credit for these reading questions. Quizzes and exams are, of course, content-based. If you don't know the content and get the right answer, you'll get low scores. But for these, do your best. Think you'll get full credit for those reading questions. Again, they must be completed, however, by the date they're listed on the calendar. Your daily links will help you do that. So you have daily links for each of the units will appear at the beginning of each unit with all of the material for that unit. So right now, unit number 1, taking us up through February 9th, is there, available, ready for you to begin, start to engage. If you want to do it on a Monday, Wednesday schedule, terrific. If Monday, Wednesday doesn't work for you, make changes, but just make sure you're completing all of the material by the deadlines using the calendar and or the daily links. Okay, your reading folders, so there are links to the reading folders in the daily links here, so you can find them. You can also access them here in the readings folder. All of the PowerPoint videos that are used in my lecture videos are here. Now, I'm posting all of these videos onto YouTube. The benefit of that is everyone uses YouTube. It's easy. It's really, there are no bugs. It's easy to watch a video on YouTube. The downside, you sometimes have to watch a little 5-second advertisement beforehand. I don't get paid, but I guess YouTube's making money off of you and me, but I don't get paid for these. But anyway, that's the downside. But the reason I do it is just because I've had technical difficulties before with posting videos through Blackboard. YouTube, once they're uploaded, they're easy. They're there. Everyone can access them. Okay, so there are links to those videos. So if you click on this, watch video unit 1.1, it's going to take you to a YouTube link.
This is a real B&H customer story. Steph Mantis came to B&H to take her photography to the next level.
You can skip those ads after 5 seconds.
We're going to begin our course on evolution by
some of them are a little
talking
longer,
about a
minutes,
simple
but most
definition.
of them are like 15 to 20 minutes. Again, I try to break it up, watch them, but treat them as if you were in a class. Take notes. If you have a question, write the question down. Then go back to the worksheet or to the book. See if you can answer that question. If you can't, say, oh, I need to log on to a Zoom office hour. I need to talk to my friend. I need to figure out the answer to that question. Don't just sit there and watch the video. I know we live in an era where we have YouTube and TikTok. Those are short, right? Instagram. We watch videos all the time, and we just kind of sit back and relax and enjoy them. But that's not a really great way to learn. You learn a little bit, but engage, take notes as if you were sitting in a class. You can't stop and raise your hand, unfortunately. That's the downside. We can't have a conversation back and forth. That's why I miss our traditional lectures. But you can engage your brain. Writing actually has been demonstrated to help you retain and learn information way, way better, even than typing. Typing's good too, but writing was better. There's kind of this muscle memory thing that happens as you're writing things down as you go. The nice thing about the videos is, which you can't do in a traditional class, is you can pause it, right? If you need to, you're getting behind taking notes or you want to write a question down, you can't pause your teacher in a traditional lecture, but you can do that on an online course, okay? So please engage, take notes, write as you're doing. That will help you learn a lot better. And then bring those to me during Zoom office hours, okay? In addition, here's some other resources you have. The SLOs, that's an acronym for Student Learning Outcomes. These are just for each unit. For each one, unit 1.1, you have a list of all of the major concepts and questions that you should be able to answer. So you can use this as a guide as you're going back over your notes or as you're getting ready for the exams. You should know, at the beginning, review the calendar. This is just orientation stuff. But you should be able to define all the words in bold. So you should know what a definition of evolution is, what a population is. You should be able to answer these questions after watching those videos and engaging. If you can't, you missed something. Go back. Ask me a question during office hours, okay? So those SLOs are basically just like a notes outline guideline to help you get ready for exams and quizzes, to help make sure that you are engaged and mastering all of the material. These last 3 folders are empty right now. Worksheets, I'll put the first worksheet up here in the next couple of days. You can begin working on it. It's not due until, when was it due? Let's look. So it is due, the first worksheet is not due until February 7th. And there's a reminder actually in the daily links. So if you go to the daily links on February 7th, it'll be reminder, make sure you turn in the worksheet. But that will be available here as an assignment. It'll be there as an assignment. You can download the Word document, fill it out, complete it, and then attach it and submit that assignment. Quizzes again each week on Wednesday. The quizzes will appear here. 5 multiple choice true false questions for the quizzes. They'll be there. They'll be available beginning on Wednesday. So for this first one, Wednesday the 19th, and ending on Friday of each of those weeks. If there's an exam on that Wednesday, then we won't have a quiz that week. But other than that, there is, and they're all listed in the calendar, so that can help you keep track also. Exams, same thing. Your 4-unit exams and your final exam will all appear in this folder. On the date, they are listed with reminders. In the daily links folder, there's now a reminder here for each of those unit exams: February 14th, March 9th, April 11th, May 4th. And then the final exam is listed in the syllabus. And the final exam, I think it's Monday, that first, whatever the finals week is, you can take it on Monday or on Tuesday anytime during that span. Okay, so that's all of the material. Hopefully everything is fairly clear and straightforward. Even though it's online, I try to make it, so you have lots of reminders and links and things that help you keep up, help you engage with the material. I'm here, I'm available. Contact me by email, or even better, I really would enjoy this. We don't often get as many students I think we should. Log on, once a week, or whenever you have questions, log on to a Zoom office hour. Ask me questions. Say, hey, I saw this. What does this relate to this topic we're talking about? Or, hey, I've got a question about CRISPR and how CRISPR works, and whatever. I'm here. I'm available. Please engage as much as you can. If you have any questions about the way the course will work or something was not clear, send me an email, or a Zoom office hour is a good way to do that also. All right, good luck. Hopefully you'll have success. Again, please keep up with the material. It's easy in an online class to kind of procrastinate and say, I'm tired, I'll do it tomorrow, which is fine for some things as long as you're not doing it, and then it gets farther back and farther back and farther back, and then you start missing dates and missing getting stuff turned in. Okay, good luck. I'll enjoy teaching. Hopefully I'll see most of you virtually in Zoom, and we'll have a good semester.